What is up, everybody? I'm NoLucksGiven here with your afternoon snap. Today we are playing Cerebro 3 in a league match, and we are up against Faraday. I'm doing a giveaway for PAX bundles. Stick around till the end of the video to find out how you can win. This is the deck that I would have played in the SCADA 727 tournament. I got confused on what day the tournament was. I thought the tournament was going to be on 7/27, but yeah, I was mistaken there. Cosmo into Surge would have been good. Not going to be able to happen. I mean, we can try that next turn. For now, all we can do is either play Luke Cage or we can go like Jeff Bast. But we're also going to move out of Kiln because of Bifrost, so we probably want to hang on to Jeff until after that point. That's going to be a potential winner. Let's just play Cage for now here. So that is good, that we can potentially win Kiln with Jeffrey. Not sure what else we'll be able to do here, though. Ooh, Baron Zemo is going to take my Scarlet Witch, which turns this into Stark Tower. Don't love that. Scarlet Witch is used to get rid of problem locations, and now Stark Tower is just going to be a problem for us. And my opponent has Prio to play into Surge. I could honestly actually just see retreating right now and not giving my opponent any more information about what we're doing. Because, like, sure, they probably know that we're C3 by this point, maybe, but they might not know about the Cosmo, so, like, showing this does give some real information away. But I could still win this game. This deck lacks an Iron Man or something to go way over the top. Well, this is just going to hit the Cerebro. Yeah. So now at least I don't have to worry about the Cerebro. If I can get to 12 points in the Kiln and they can't, maybe there would be something, but I think that would only really be possible with Killmonger to grab the win in Bifrost. I think now it is looking pretty unlikely. So now I might just want to conserve how much we give away to my opponent. Yeah, I think we're going to conserve how many cubes we give away. In that case, we are just going to retreat. Possibly should have retreated before any of that came down. But now we do have a little bit more information about what my opponent is doing. They are decidedly playing a mill deck. Krakoa, not super exciting for us. We'll probably Scarlet Witch it next turn. After we see what location number 2 is. Clintar's honestly fine. We have Killmonger for the Demon, which is also fine. Let's take out Krakoa with Prio, just so that way they can't get an advantage from it. Throne Room, also awkward. They can just, like, completely ignore this location to be kind of annoying. So I've always been a little bit afraid to play Cerebro in Conquest, because you are much more just a slave to whatever locations happen to appear. I was thinking maybe I could have played Cosmo this turn, but man, that Gladiator has got some good targeting clued in there. Probably going to have to retreat this one. Yep, alright, well that's fine, because I already didn't like this one. Now here's the thing. One of these games we're going to draw Cerebro, we're going to snap, we're going to have good locations, and then they're just going to retreat. But if they don't retreat, if they are willing, like if we say, no, we're only playing 1 cube games, and then all of a sudden we give them a game for more than 1 cube, is that going to be too obvious for them? We lose the Gorgon, though that's not the biggest loss, because, and neither is Bast, honestly. Those are 2 pretty good losses so far. Let's draw Cerebro here, make it easy on me. Scarlet Witch I think we have to save until we know that this location isn't a problem location. But they could very easily just see the snap as a sign of, well, he's got Cerebro. So it might not allow us to get too many additional cubes there. Scarlet Witch the Nexus is pretty funky. 3 energy this turn, so we could Cosmo here. Oh, they also have the ability to change the Nexus. We could say, no, you can't change the Nexus. I think I want to play for, you know, consistency with this. Baron Zemo could just take my Cerebro. We're going to see another snap come out from my opponent quite soon. Before we completely give in, we are going to Scarlet Witch, see if we can find some other funky location to happen. But this is quite likely to be a retreat pretty soon. And a polymorph on the hood is a decent play too. Currently have so many more points over them in the Nexus, but this could be interesting. Where the heck did Hobgoblin come from? Oh, from Celestial Burial Ground. What did they discard? Cannonball? Lady Deathstrike. They're playing Lady Deathstrike? Oh my goodness. This match seems so bad for me. I can put a bunch of 2s in here in my 3 power cards deck. I am going to want to Killmonger the Nexus next turn, so I do think I'll have to do this in some capacity. I could play Sentinel here, Killmonger here, move in Jeff. Suppose we'll plan for that. That's Gladiator. That's Once in Future on my poor boy Cerebro. And Once in Future on Yondu. Okay, maybe that's a reason to play the Killmonger earlier. They're going to have so many points over me, but they are still going to have Prio going into the final turn. So if their best play includes a Killmonger, this could, Demon, this could maybe get him. I mean, why not, right? Because we're getting to 11 power here, so all they literally need to do is play Cable, and we lose. Oy vey. Alright, we are going to need to get really, really lucky. It seems like my number may have been pulled here. We do have the Cerebro Mystique. That is comforting. Madripoor is not a good location, but we can mostly avoid it. Sure, Kiln is a good location. We can even sneak in Cerebro and Mystique into the Kiln. I've got a snap. Because this is a location where Lady Deathstrike will not be able to get us unless they, like, surge into a Lady Deathstrike, which is such a specific combination that I don't think we have to play around it. All right, we're going to let Merlin get big in Madripoor. Merlin now has 2 turns to change over the Kiln, and we have to Scarlet Witch one of these 2 locations, probably. Do I go for Cerebro followed by Mystique so that they're in the Kiln? It gives them a pretty good place to change the location of, but I think we're going to go for it here. Okay, that's a bummer, but it takes away a polymorph and Once in Future target, so it's fine. It also tells them I've got Killmonger, which is less fine, but what you gonna do? We can't Juggernaut them out of the Kiln here, unfortunately. We're just gonna play Mystique, hope that they get nothing Next turn we get to Scarlet Witch, Juggernaut, a location. And then I don't think they ever compete for this. Yeah, Omniversal Presence. Dang, dang. Okay, well, at least I didn't mess up here with the Krakoa. They're going to get a Bast, so a Lady Deathstrike would now destroy itself. We don't get to see the text on Lady Deathstrike here, but it might. It might just do that. So we potentially have to Juggernaut away a Lady Deathstrike. That is the rub here. I think they would use it on the final turn. I think so. But this is so much more energy efficient. I think they might... Oh, they have Prio, so this just never works anyways. I don't think they're going to play here, so we need to draw... We're then looking to draw exactly Cosmo. That's kind of terrible. Now, if this gets me Prio, I think that's what I have to battle for here. Alright, that's not it. That is a Sentry, and that's a real Sentry, and then it's a once in future on Bast. Still a cool play. But this will take Prio, and now we can Juggernaut them out of Krakoa. They can't play Lady Deathstrike into the Nexus. That just doesn't work. Now, they might be able to use Merlin to change one of these locations and potentially get us. But, short of that, this is a good play. I have to decide if we... Well, I guess if we'd want to play Luke Cage, if they would potentially flip this location. All right, they're just going to retreat, which makes sense. I think they've seen both... I don't know if they've seen the Juggernaut, but they've definitely seen the Cosmo, because we played that in the first round at least. But, hey, 2 cubes back. I'm not going to get upset at that. Now we are in high stakes mode, and we still have so much to play around. They've got location change, they've got the Lady Deathstrike, and they've got so much more. So we're hoping to play Cerebro on the final turn then. They're going to get rid of Citadel for sure, but we can still play this. We can also play Gorgon here, which makes the Hood more expensive, and it draws out a Lady Deathstrike on turn 7. On turn 5. It's a 5-7. Got confused. There's the Surge prompting a Cosmo, but don't really want to do it because I don't want to win the Rocket Pad, and they could just kind of set me up for failure there. Mobius into Dream Dimension plus Gorgon into Citadel. All of this seems pretty good. There's one bad location, but I think this is snappable currently. Just trying to debate if we would ever play Sentinel this turn, but I need to play Mobius by next turn regardless. So I think we're going to snap. We've got the Cerebro. Mobius is a good play. These are all good plays. All right. Just slow and steady finding those instances. My opponent accepted the snap last time and retreated on the final turn. So if we could get so lucky again, this is a way to potentially get that cube count up. They have Sentry into the Void, and we have Mystique, which we also get to Bast. I can throw that away over here. And then I'll start playing Sentinels. Next turn, I get to play Sentinel plus Juggernaut, and then finishing off with Cerebro plus Mystique into Onslaught Citadel. They don't have Merlin yet, either. Ooh, this could be a big game here. Yondu, you got it. You got it, boss. And Baron Zemo gonna take Scarlet Witch. Could potentially... I mean, I think we're all right. Okay, we get some rocks. That's a bummer, but I think we have our plays for the rest of the game. I am not feeling any type of way about the rocks. They actually cannot play Lady Deathstrike here. Okay, all I need to do is not take Prio. And I think I've done that. So this Cosmo could go into Onslaught Citadel. That means I won't be able to play Mystique specifically into Onslaught Citadel. I don't know if they're playing Annihilus or Viper. All of those things are very possible. So Cosmo could be a good play here for that reason. Trying to think of exactly what they might try to do this game. And Dream Dimension taking them off of Lady Deathstrike takes them off of Annihilus this turn even. Both of those things seem really good. Let's just protect Onslaught Citadel. Oh, I just got there. They can Lady Deathstrike over in Dream Dimension, destroying the Void. Shoot. So if they Lady Deathstrike here, okay, they are just going to retreat. I should have played the Cosmo into the Void, because if they Lady Deathstrike here, they could still destroy all of my 3s. Like, I was just thinking about Lady Deathstrike on my dudes, but they could have just destroyed my 3s, which would also be pretty terrible for me. But we managed to walk away with 4 cubes to put them down to 4 cubes remaining. The Space Throne seems not great for them. We also have Jeffrey to get further points there. I mean, they can't play Baron Zemo here. They could just play Gladiator here. Seems fine. I think we just run out of Gorgon, though. So if they want to use Lady Deathstrike just to take out 1 card, like, that's kind of fine. Gorgon, unfortunately, does not interact with Cable. Okay, it's not the worst thing that we could have lost. And Misery, might be one of the worst things that they could lose there. We could give Luke Cage +1 power from the clubhouse, though, because we'll pump up the Gorgon. That won't really work for us. We'll potentially be Scarlet Witching the clubhouse next turn. We'll see, we'll see. Gladiator, not Mystique, Bast. Bast is great. Makes me kind of wish I held on to Luke, but this is the most energy efficient play regardless because I don't have my Sentinels. Now I draw Mystique. I think it might be Scarlet Witch in the clubhouse and then Jeffrey over in Space Throne. There's always a little bit of risk with the Witch. Oh, wait. Oh. How silly of me. A Cerebro that's been buffed up by Bast will always be out of range of Lady Deathstrike. So I could play Lady Deathstrike next turn, potentially with Prio. Let's go for Scarlet Witch here. I need to play my cards. I can't hold on to them forever. All right, looks like we are taking Prio going into turn 5. So that should make us lady-proof here. And I think as long as this turns out fine, there's a lot of ifs here, but I think we snap now. They're also bricked in Sokovia. Well, that's a snap. Can always move Jeff over. Probably going to play Mystique into Sokovia so that it's protected. Yeah, I think we're Lady Deathstrike proof here. They do have an opportunity to play a free Sentry now. But this looks pretty dang good to me. I maybe should have just played Cerebro behind the cloak, but I wanted Cerebro... I don't want to put too many points in Sokovia. I've already more or less won Sokovia with the Mystique next turn. They are going to retreat, so now we have put ourselves in a position in a pretty terrible matchup, but where we only have to win 1 of the next 4 games. That is very doable. That is very, very doable. Cerebro into the vault on turn 5 without priority is Lady Deathstrike proof, so this is looking good for us already. This is quite a battle. I don't think I've played Cerebro in a conquest match since Loki was the season pass card months ago. Brooklyn Bridge, Jeffrey, and the Vault are potential fun interactions here. We still have Jug if we just want to curve out. We don't have Cosmo for them here. I potentially just want to curve out, but I also have Sentinel, so I'm like basically curving out here regardless. Let's just play Sentinel. I don't know what this center location is. I might need to ignore it. Next turn might be Sentinel Gorgon over in Brooklyn. And Bast would be nice. Cosmo. All right. There goes my Cosmo. Watch him as he goes. And Krakoa is our center location, so could play Cerebro there, or could just play anything there. Hope that I hit Mystique. Could play Luke Cage there, hope that I hit it onto Bast, or like just ignore the outcome of it. Don't play the card that I draw because I have enough other cards here. Let's get some cards into Brooklyn. I think that's going to be a good strategy. Next turn, we do have Cerebro into the vault. Cerebro plus Sentinel into the vault could be a pretty winning strategy. They're going to cable a card, and they are going to Baron Zemo on Bast, potentially. No, Scarlet Witch. Okay, so they took our Bast with cable here then. No Lady Deathstrike here either. So I do believe the play is always, and I've got one card in my deck, we know it's Mystique next turn. We know for a fact that I am drawing a Mystique. I'm worried about Lady Deathstrike into these Sentinels. And I'm considering just putting some more points preemptively into the big house. I don't know why this is like grayed out, but assuredly we cannot play into the big house right now. They could Misery in some combination to take my Mystique. That's not a big deal though. And we also have Jug for Brooklyn Bridge next turn. I think I want to play to every location. I think that this keeps me the most live. Yeah, it's the Hood plus Lady Deathstrike over in the vault. So they are going to take our Mystique then. Oh, that's Misery. Okay, well, either way, they take the Mystique just with Gladiator instead. So that means we can't actually get more points into the vault, but we've already also won the vault. And they can't play into the big house. Yeah, we're just going to have 12 points over in the vault. And as far as we know, that's game. I'm just concerned that the big house is grayed out right now, but I think we've won it. We also have the option here to Juggernaut if we want to, like, just be super damn sure that we've won this location, right? And then probably just Jeff on top of that. I think the fist bump is coming in because we've won it here. I'm just going to make dang sure with this Jug, because why did they play a card into the big house? Well, you can go into the bridge. We're going to take these other two locations here. And I think they were just battling on points at this point. But that is not going to do it, and we're going to grab a win with Cerebro 3 in a matchup that, honestly, I thought was looking unwinnable, but we walk out of here with 7 cubes. That is going to be it for me today. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'm NoLucksGiven. Peace. To enter into my giveaway, there are 3 things that you need to do. The first is subscribe to this YouTube channel. The second is leave a comment on any of my videos. This season, every comment will give you an additional entry into the giveaway. Limit 1 per video, but you can comment on all of the videos that I upload throughout this season. And the third thing that you have to do is join my Discord. And the reason that I need you to do that is so that way I can contact you if you win, because YouTube comments, you don't always get the notifications for things like that. So join my Discord, leave a comment on all of my videos, and subscribe for more Sweet Marvel Snap.